Hey everybody, Wendy here. I'm coming at you today with an pretty exciting thing or video. What I'm doing is a 2019 budget comparison. All 5 of these were purchased on Amazon.com and are available on Amazon.com. These are some of the top rated and best-selling budget planners. And so let's just dive right in and get started. These over here. And we are going to start with this one. This is the budget book from boxcleverpress.com, or of course available on Amazon. One thing I do like about this is that it is small. It's fairly thick, which means it's got quite a bit inside of it. It is spiral bound, which means it opens and stays open, and it does have a magnetic open and close so that it will stay closed, which is definitely a pro. When you open up to the very first page, over here it has an annual expenses budget. This is great to put in your first, in the first day of the month, the first day of the year, really. Expenses that'll happen annually versus monthly or weekly. It does have a ribbon for bookmark. One thing I do have to say about this is that it is literally just tied onto the spiral here, so it is likely that it will come off. And I do have to say that if you have any sort of skills at pretty much anything whatsoever, if you have a spiral bound notebook and you want a ribbon bookmark, you can simply just tie it on. Tie on a strip of ribbon and accomplish the exact same thing. On to January, well, the monthly. It has income, several spaces to put in several income sources, your regular payments, any direct deposits and bills, a savings section, what they call essentials. This lets you put in your full income amount, the regular payments amount, the full amount for the bills and direct deposits, as well as full savings, and you can total that up to a full availability of funds afterwards. It does have a day-to-day spending tracker, which lasts for 3 pages. That's not a whole lot for a full month, but it does look as if there is enough to write down, at least 1 per day. So here you can put in your totals. I'm not quite sure why they have a utilities and groceries and the monthly spend totals. I guess it's to separate everything. If that is something in which you like to utilize, this could be perfect for you. And then the monthly totals, you put in your balance from last month, your total income, total outgoings, and a balance to carry over. So if you're not a zero-based budget person, this is set up great for you. Another really cool thing is it's got a little pocket envelope thing right here, and it says receipts and bills, so of course you can shove your receipts in there, bills you acquire in there. It can also work as a cash envelope sort of deal. And then of course from there it just moves on to the next month. One thing about this is if you move to the very back, there is another additional section that is Christmas and extra expenses, and this allows you to write in, of course, extra expenses throughout your year. And there's several pages of that. And then it allows you to budget in for Christmas. Gives you the person, gift idea, the budget you have for it, and then the amount that you actually spend on who and what you buy for them, and that gives you several pages, as well as able to put in your Christmas overview, and of course a pocket. Another great place to stash your sinking funds, if you are a cash budgeting sinking funds type of person. One definite pro for this is, of course, the size. It has the Christmas expense tracker in the back, which I don't think any others do. Any other additional ones that I'm going to show you here today have. These pockets are great. The annual expense page is just like a completely awesome idea. Definitely not something I see a whole lot. To have that first page in there that lets you know of these additional expenses throughout the year is just perfect. One of the downsides is that if you are newer to budgeting and you don't completely understand all your expenses and bills and the money that goes out and what you need to budget for and stuff like that, because you haven't been doing it for an extended period of time, you do have to write in your payments and bills and stuff yourself. And for somebody who's new at it, remembering all those can be a little bit difficult, so that is kind of a con to it. It also doesn't have a calendar, which many people are very visual, and having that calendar shows them what dates things are due, where they're at in the month, you know, especially spending wise. If you're at the beginning of the month and you see that you're, you know, say 8 days in or something, and you've already spent a third of your budget, you can be like, oh, okay, there's only 2/3 left, but we're only a quarter through the month. It kind of helps you keep on track. So it is a good idea to have a little calendar. A little mini calendar in with this would be so cute. So I do kind of wish it had that. It also doesn't have a place to track your debt. Now, not everybody that budgets has debt, and if you don't have debt, then it's really not necessary for you. This is also very simple and small, so if you're somebody who is very simple with your budgeting, then this could actually be a great product for you. It's not too thick. I have fairly small hands, and they fit pretty good around it. And small enough to put in your purse and keep with you. So that's the pros and cons of this one. And that is the smallest one that smallest one this way. Not this way, but smallest one this way that I have to show you today. The next one is, of course, a really popular one. And this is the Erin Condren budget book. Many of these are put into additional planner bits. I'm just showing you the budget book portion of it. It is just a sewn bound book. One thing Erin Condren known for is, of course, covers and the sayings that are put on them. And they're just very noticeable. This is the Petite Planner budget book. It starts off with a savings tracker at the beginning. I do love having a separated savings tracker. That way you can go directly to it and see where you're at with your savings. So I definitely think this addition to the planner is great. From there, you move into your month at a glance. Things you plan on purchasing, bills, goals for saving money. I'm not really sure what this is for. I guess you could put in your income. Here is your basic income, bills and expenses. It does have a small place for debt, but no actual debt tracking section. Your income. It does have a lot of additional categories written in for you, but it doesn't have much space to put in additional categories in which you may discover that you have, or that you may know that you have. From here is spending summary. And there's quite a few pages, so if you are a big spender or you spend more daily, you purchase the things you need more daily versus weekly or monthly. There's a good amount of space in here for you to keep track of all that. From there, it just moves into the next month. The months are not written in here, so you can literally start this book any time of year, which is a definite pro. As you can see, it just changes colors for each month. I don't recall there being... Oh. This one does have a debt tracker in the back. I seem to have... I didn't realize that. That is actually pretty cool and very handy, and a definite pro for this particular book. There are spaces for 8 debts. Not a huge amount of space. I guess it's probably just for the 12 months or the year. If you do make multiple payments on debts, that could be a little bit more difficult. I do make multiple payments on my debts throughout the month, so this might not be completely useful for me. But like I said, it does have a debt tracker. It does have expenses written in, so it can be a really great starter debt tracker for someone. Another really cool thing about this, because it's Erin Condren, of course, you get stickers. You gotta love stickers. So yeah, pros: size, it's small, you can easily carry it with you. It's designed to go in the petite planner, which has elastic bands that you just slip into here, and you do that with your several different planner books, and it just wraps together. So it's very simple for something like that. It's great on its own. It's got the stickers, of course. It's got the savings tracker and the debt tracker, and I think this is the only book I have that actually has a debt tracker in it, which is just amazing. Downside is, just like the other one, no calendar. I think even just a single page calendar that's small can have so much value, especially if you are a visual individual. And that can be one of the reasons why some of us do struggle with money, is because numbers are very well, they're not really auditory, but they're just not something that is very well seen. I mean, you can put them there and you can write them down, but the ins and outs of when and where and, you know, exactly how much can be a little bit difficult for some people to understand. Math is definitely a very difficult subject for many people. Having an calendar really does help many people because they can visually see when and how much, and it just, like I said, it is just a really useful tool for many people. And then there is the one downside, is that there's not a whole lot of space for additional expenses. Most of us do have these particular expenses, as well as maybe a couple others here and there. I would like to see a little more space for the debt and stuff here. Of course, these are part of your, well, actually, it doesn't look like they are. Yeah, because you've got your main housing, your utilities, your auto. I guess there's the car payments in the auto, but credit cards, there's a few extra spaces. You know, they're not generally for a specific area. Then there's a space for only 2 credit cards, and let's face it, there's a rather large number of us that have more than 2 credit cards. So I would like to see a little bit more space available for that. Again, if you're somebody that's newer, or you don't have a lot of debt, or you don't have credit cards, stuff like that, this is definitely a possible journal for you, just because size-wise it is definitely very, very thin. It is very small around here, fits great into most purses and bags. Pretty easy to carry with you, even if, like, as a male, you just have some sort of fold-over, oh, I wouldn't even know what those things are called. The little fold-over things that some guys carry. I'm on top of things. But, you know, like a backpack or something like that many guys carry around. So it definitely has an advantage in that area. Book number 3, again, one of the most popular ones, is the Happy Planner Budget Edition. This one is for, of course, 2019. So it will have the months written in. This is one thing I do want to note about this budget planner to begin with. It is done with these rings, and these pages and these things pull out and have a very specific hole punch on the side that allows you to pop pages back in. That is definitely one of the greatest pros of this. You can get the hole punch and add in additional pages. You can pull out pages you're not going to use. And if you're somebody that doesn't really like working with spiral rings when writing and stuff, you can actually just pull out the page and work with the page singularly and then put it back in. Here, it's got a little mini calendar for at a glance. Here is a savings goal. This is really cool in the sense that it does give you visual tracking of your savings. Allows you to either write in or color in if you've hit a certain goal each month. Really whatever you personally choose. Here's the one odd thing I definitely find about this. Here's the monthly budget page, and here's the tab. It is actually before the tab rather than after. I just find that very, very odd, and it's that way amongst all of it. Very small space for your bills and expenses. One space for your monthly income. It does have starting balance plus income, so if you're not a zero-based budget person, it is good for you in that area with the ending balance, of course. Spot for goals. spot for savings, but it's not real huge. If you are very much a monthly person, you especially just get paid monthly, this might be really all you need. Yay! Happy part. This does come with a calendar. Like I said, it is very visual. Spot for notes. Many people who do planning and stuff like stickers and stuff like that, so you can put stickers in, and it is very much at a glance. From there, it actually has weekly things where you can put in your spending amounts, things that are going on, allows you to keep track of events and stuff that's going on that you may need to take your budget into consideration. If you have a special meeting one day and it's going to provide you with lunch, you don't need to worry about bringing in your lunch that day or budgeting for a lunch out. It also works vice versa. You may have a meeting here and then over here, and you're not at your desk, and you are going to need to stop and eat between those meetings, whereas normally you would be able to sit at your desk and eat. And you need to budget for that additional eating expense. And it's just that way with multiple things. You have things that go on that you're going to need money for, and it allows you to see at a weekly glance where additional money might be needed or might not be needed throughout the week. And then of course you have one for each week. And then here, your expense tracker, your bill list, and then it moves on to your monthly budget for the next month. Again, this is the monthly budget for February, but it is technically in the January tab. I find that really odd. Some people it probably works for, I don't know. I'm somebody that when I grab hold and flip, it flips automatically to here. Some people like to flip that way. I'm not that person, so it's not completely useful for me. From there, additional info in the back. This is one thing that is cool. It's got little quotes and pictures and stuff at the beginning of each month. This one's just got like a cool $sign. Work hard and dream big. Like, pretty cool. There is December, of course. And then it's just got a single page for notes, because this is usually where the monthly expense tracker would be. Not a whole lot extra. And it is fairly large. It is definitely more of an at-home sort of planner. I love the rings and the ability to remove and add things. If you're somebody that doesn't like to have to flip, whoops, sorry, little bump. If you're somebody that doesn't like to have to flip to the next month, you can literally, once the month is over, pull all these out, and you're automatically on the first month. Now you can put that month away and you know, put it up somewhere, or you can literally just move it to the back of the planner, which is still pretty cool. It is also nice to have the monthly tabs. That's one thing the other two that I've already shown you did not have, and I do not believe the other two I show you will have either. It just allows you to get to where you need to be in the book a lot quicker. Like I said, it's got the calendar. It's got a note page in the back, which is great. Would like a little bit more note space. You'd be amazed how much how much you end up needing to write down. I mean, there's little note spaces, of course, on each, you know, section, so I tend to write a lot more notes than that, so. But, and then of course, cons. Like I said, it's in the previous month. It doesn't have a debt tracker. Like I said, the Erin Condren's the only one that had the debt tracker in it. So you really, the only way you'll know is by putting in here, you know, oh, February 28th, paid off such and such bill this month, paid off so much money to this bill this month. And then, of course, you know, putting in daily that you paid stuff off, but there's no space you can go to and see all your debt in one place. And then, of course, it does have the fact that you do have to write in everything on your own. So if you don't already know all your expenses, it's perhaps not great or not as useful for somebody who is new to budgeting. But that should be that for this guy. We move to this one next. Okay, gonna let you know right now, the name of this planner is probably my favorite thing about it. It is just hysterical. If you watch my other videos, you'll see that this is just totally my personality. From there, move in. Just your basic, got all your information in it. This is actually by Jad Budget Planner Books, in case you need to know. Starts off with January. If I recall, this one isn't set up for a specific year, so if you do start in the middle of the year, you can move to the middle of the year, and then once January hits, you can move right back and still use it for a full year, whereas the previous planner I showed you is for the full year of 2019. This is a really cute design, I have to admit. It's probably one of my favorites. Monthly income. It has a lot of different categories and things that you have to think about and take into consideration, which is really, really great for a beginner. And it's got several spots for credit cards, and allows you to pull in your full income, amounts going out, and then put it all together so you know if you're on budget or not. From there, it actually has daily spending tracker, and it's got several spots, so if you are somebody that spends at several places during the day, you are literally set up for every day of the month. And weekly, it allows you to put in how much you've spent that week, which helps you keep on track if you're a spender. See there? From here, it actually gives you a little bit to let you know how much your monthly income was, how much you spent, and it even gives you a little bit of a mood tracker for your spending, which is, again, one of those really cool visual things. And then there's a little note section, and they give you suggestion for things to write down in the notes. Again, very mood and emotion oriented to help you rein in your spending if you're an overspender. From there, it moves on to the next month, which of course works exactly the same. I do have to say, this is very much more of a spending journal than a budget journal. It's got the basic budgeting, and I'd say this is very much a great starter for somebody who wants to get into budgeting and needs to learn where their spending issues are. This can be a great starter book for them. I don't recall anything, nope, nothing really extra in the back. There's a couple of pages. You could always put notes on if you need extra note space, but it is very, very simplistic. Like I said, great if you're overspending. Even if you're an overspender and you have been budgeting, this could be a great addition to your budget planner. Again, no calendar, which I definitely consider a con. And again, it is more of a spending tracker than a full-on budget planner. But cover is awesome. Definitely worth it just to have the cover. The final one is this guy here. This is a monthly budget planner. They do have several different covers that you can choose from on this guy. This is the largest one. Not too wide or anything. But it is like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Unless you have a big bag, it isn't going to go with you much of anywhere. Has a little quote. Basic calendar. It does have 2018s and 2019s in it. Basic starter page. This is, again, doesn't have things written in for you, so you have to really be on top of things with your budgeting and know what your bills and expenses are. And it literally just is that way, page after page. I think there's 2 or 3 years worth of pages in here. From there, yeah, there's several years worth of pages in here. And in the very back, like, here we are halfway through it, and it's got monthly budget. About halfway through, it moves into a weekly expense tracker. And this is just set up Monday through Sunday with notes. It doesn't have specific days or anything on it. So it is a planner you can start at any time of the year, which is a definite advantage. But as you can see, it's all just expense trackers for the week. It is definitely more than a year long. So if you are somebody that is hoping to save money, this could definitely be a choice for you. It is one of the cheaper products on Amazon. And as you can see, it goes for several months. It does have a yearly bill tracker in the back. This, as you can see, this allows you to check off your yearly bills paid and stuff. But there's 1, 2, 3. It's got 3 years worth. And then a few notes pages. And comes to the end. Like I said, definitely pro is that it is way more than 1 year's worth. It is just, I'd say at least 3 years. Haven't counted. I'm not gonna count. It does have the weekly expense tracker in it, which is pretty cool, kind of like the other one I just showed you. And you can start your budgeting at any point of the year. It is not set up for a specific year at all. Cons is you definitely have to write in all your own bills, so if you're new to it, it makes it a little bit harder. Again, no calendar, so if you're a visual person, Not great. No debt tracker at all. And there really isn't much to the design of this, I have to say. It is very, very simplistic. So if you're a very simple person, and like I said, you're very budget conscious and stuff like that, this can be great because you can buy it and you won't need to buy another one for like 3 years. So, but that is that for this one. All of these can be found on Amazon. I will link them all below. And I will link them all separately. I'll try to link them all separately so that you can go directly to whichever one happens to have caught your fancy, or if you want to, sorry about that, look into more. I will actually be using one of these next year for my budget planner. I'm not going to tell you which one right now. If you want to learn which one I will be using, then you need to stay tuned. Click the thumbs up and the subscribe, and go ahead and click the notification bell so that you're notified when I post new videos, and when the video that shows my 2019 planner actually comes out. Until next time, I guess I will just say keep budgeting, keep at it, and find what works for you, okay? Bye.